when you look at recent events and short-term scenarios, the attack on the global bridge asset is increasing. Yes, we had around 200 exchanges listing XRP a week ago. Right now, it's showing you 115. That is reduction in volume, buying, selling, and each and everything related to XRP. How will this affect the price fluctuation? You will get detailed answer for that, but before that, I want to tell you guys something. Do not forget what has happened in the past and what's coming. And that's not way back, it's 2020. So when you look at all of this stuff, you do not forget that this happened. Then only you can understand what has happened in a macro perspective, and you focus on just that, not the current events. Yes, the current events are important, but XRP was also mentioned as quasi-money along with Bitcoin and Ether. Now, for those who don't actually understand what that term means, it is something near money. So, it is a liquid asset which can be turned into cash, converted into cash. Now for XRP, it's actually the same thing. It was designed to do that, to move from one asset to another financial asset. It is, or it was designed to act as a bridge currency. And it is working like that. So when you look at different exchanges, delisting and all these dramas, you go back and look at the volume of those. Say when you go to the bottom, you can actually see, say, Bitstamp. When they highlight this, it's 1.56%. It's not actually like Binance. Now, when you go back and look at the Binance US at the bottom, you can actually see that it's 0.28%, right? So it doesn't actually make quite a chill when you guys are looking at this and saying, okay, this is going to, kill XRP in all way. No, it doesn't. Because when you look, these exchanges understand that this is not a security. The ultimate issue for this is as a bridge asset. The exchanges who use these services to provide their customers with better satisfaction, customer services and all, they do understand that XRP is not a security. Just the fools from SEC named it doesn't actually make it a security. And I remind you again, this industry is so important. Cross-border payments using digital currencies are making the current system redundant. And you actually got this way before from IMF and other central banks when they talk about this. When they gave you that the current events of cross-border payments, what the shortcomings were and how you are going to change this entire process, those who understood that still understand that XRP is similar to that of Bitcoin and Ether in a scenario where it is not a security. If Bitcoin and Ether are not a security, this one is not also a security. And when we actually move through this, and when we initially stated that this is a key thing for the macro future, when you're looking at Ripple and XRP, this is sure, right? This is completely sure. Now it is completely sure for me, and it is up to you if you want to dump and run or man up right now. If you have a strong stand on why you initially came into this asset, you right now understand these short-term price fluctuations won't bother you because you right now understand the macro perspective and the long-term events. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, when we look at different news, events and other stuff, the current affairs along with what happened in the past gives us that idea, right? When you look at this, Ripple will either be victorious or settle out of court with SEC. And that's why I use the term fools from SEC. When IMF itself is stating this is a currency, a bridge asset, a mean of exchange, if you're considering that as a means of exchange, that doesn't mean it's a security, right? Then when you look at the general perspective of the entire financial future, China is set to surpass US. Why? Because it is taking proper measure to do that right now when the US politicians are sleeping with putting their... Now the world is doing opposite. They are becoming the leaders. Back in the internet era, US did something positive. They led that position and they reached where they are right now. But this change is disrupting. The disruptors are clearly shaking the system, and that's taking the words from Christine Lagarde. Now you see this from Turkey, then you see this from China. So what is the US going to do about this, right? We have to go through and detail each and everything so you have the right perspective. Price is what everyone is concerned about. We understand. We are here for profits. But do understand, if you are looking at 1000x, 1500x, even 100x, that's not something which you usually get in a traditional investment asset. Any traditional investment product is not going to give you that type of return on your investment in a year or two. Now, say if you're considering the entire market cycle, say 3 or 4 years. If you're looking at Apple, Amazon and other stuff, if you have been an investor from the initial stage, that's like 15 to 20 years. So crypto assets are something which give you that return on your investment in a shorter time span compared to that 15 to 20 years. Time is money. So if you wait for 15, 20 years to get that, that doesn't make any sense if you have an opportunity to make the same in 4 or 5 years. Now, when Bitcoin is moving to the upside and hitting new highs around 27K right now, you have to understand this horizontal line, the black line plotted here, is the previous all-time high, not the 20,001 before that. The 2017 bull run started like that. After crossing that horizontal line, which is the all-time highs back then, which was the all-time highs back then, it went up to 30%. Okay, that's cool, that's great. Then it corrected back near 40%. Again, it went up 172%, after which it dropped back 39%. So 40%, 39% is something you can easily see on BTC. So right now when it is going to the upside, you have to go into the live chart of BTC and then look at how much BTC is actually moving up. So you put in a weekly chart and then zoom in without a correction on a weekly. You can actually see that this one is going higher. Right now, it's 170%, near to that. But what is the difference here right now? Based on history, we have seen that it's around 40% fluctuation, which we can see as a correction. Now, if you take a measurement tool and again measure each correction on a weekly day, you kind of get around 30 to 40%. Now, that 30 was a shorter correction. Then you got that final pump. So before that, you got similar corrections but extended in terms of time, and each of them were like this. Each of them moved around 40%. Now that's kind of the history there which you can see. Now you come back into Bitcoin, the current market cycle, and then you utilize the same tool. Okay, here what you can do is you can take the date and price tool, then take from the highs and towards the low. You get like a 21 days of correction, which takes the price way back towards 23. Now it's not like 40% correction which you had in the previous market cycle. Right now it's 23%. And when it is going to the upside right now, we don't know till where it is going, but we know one thing, that from that point it may correct around 23%, say 20 to 25%, which would be kind of, just taking the same from this market cycle instead of looking back to the history. Now in the history, we understood that we move around 39-40%, but it was getting reduced after each pump, right? First it was 40, then 39, a little bit of difference, then 30. So right now, first 23, so you can actually expect around 20% drop. So that would be around 21K. Now, that is if this is the top. But right now, it doesn't actually look so. You just go into a daily chart. Now for daily chart, for me, MACD is showing a bullish indicator. It's actually bouncing from that top. It's bullish. Whereas in the RSI, you're kind of getting a different signal. Even though we were coming to the downside, we just broke above that trend. So that's again, we showed a divergence, but right now it's turning bullish again on a daily time frame. When you move out and look at it on a weekly and look at the volume, it's kind of increasing, decreasing, increasing, and it's slowly getting that vibe. So if you look back in the history for the MACD itself, we'll put a horizontal line there so it's easy for you to understand. We already reached that area for MACD. Now come back here, put that same thing for RSI. What do you see? At least for my eyes, we are reaching that top end where each time when we reached in the RSI, we corrected back. So each of these corrections which I explained just before aligns with these RSI movements, right? When the RSI was reaching that area, it started that correction. So right now we are at that point. So will we correct back? Time will tell us. But these are tools which you can use to prepare yourself, your portfolio. Now what about XRP? In history, we understood when BTC crosses its all-time high, move to the upside, and then when it corrects down, that is when the altcoins get that room to move to the upside. If you have any doubt, you can go again into a weekly chart, then put that horizontal line for Bitcoin. I've actually explained this last time, so I won't be going much. I'll just show you the number of days after the break of all-time highs. Here it's 63%, 63 days and 160%. Now you come here, you plot that here, and then use the same tool and look at how much it has done. So right now it's just 40% and 35 days. But without a correction, it's starting from here. You didn't get much of a correction and you are near that 160%. Now both has its own difference, but be cautious. Now, looking at XRP, we came back and we are at the bottom. There are a lot of guys who state that this is going the other way. It's going to the south. But looking at the charts, it doesn't actually feel like it is moving all the way towards the south. Because as of now, even though we had that much momentum in selling, you don't actually see the RSI reaching that bottom here. You are still seeing that the RSI is trending to the upside. So these movements are not something you should be worried about. Now, yes, on the current events, based on the news, you can see there are changes, but that doesn't mean the price is going to zero right now. You can easily understand we are in this general trading range. Now, if you want to compare something similar, go into another asset, which is XLM, and you see something similar. We are moving inside this one. For this, it was in an accelerating channel, and for XRP, we were in a base channel, right? We broke above the base channel, which was really bullish, but we came back below, we went back, retested that, and then came all the way back to the support level. Now, yes, we did wick a little bit below, but we managed to bounce back up and get towards the center of that and close there. Now, that's not actually a small thing. When you actually lay this one, you can understand this area is a support, this was a resistance, support, support. So that is a support resistance line where you reached back. So what are we looking ahead? From this point for the TA side, which majority are saying, no, TA is not valid right now because the current events shows you something bad, right? It doesn't actually mean that it is really bad. Technicals are clearly giving you that symbol that we are at the support, we were moving within this pattern. Now, while you look at the news, events and all, and then see this, yeah, we do understand that this is happening. Exchanges are delisting or halting trading of XRP mainly for US holders. Now that is a bit concerning for US guys. When you look back at the history like we detailed in last video, they stopped normal guys from buying gold and then they purchased gold. You know, the price of gold was soaring that time and that became the standard. So if something similar is happening, US holders are going to be missing a lot. But they have a lot of opportunity to use different source to buy, hold the assets. Even if they have that on a ledger, you don't have to worry that, right? Your ledger is safe, it's with you. When you move out, you have a different account and a different free, kind of exchange, which is you can move out using that exchange. So that's not actually a bad deal. If your units or holdings are on an exchange, it would be better for you to move that into a ledger and keep it safe. Now, as we discussed and detailed, if XRP is being named as a security by SEC after 8 years, that is a kind of a mistake. In any country, at least in US, based on the rules of the land, if they allowed that to happen for 8 years, they can't come out now and say, it is a security, you were doing something wrong for all these years. Then what the dash were you guys doing all these time? SEC didn't actually care much about this. And, at final moment, when the 2020 was giving us all the bad time in the world, now SEC also decided we will come and SHIT against you guys. Right? That's not the correct way to do it. Anyway, when you do understand this, never forget, I'll actually put all of these link in the description so you can actually read through that. Fintech and cross-border payments. Now, those who are familiar with the fundamentals of XRP, just look at these subheadings. It will be clear for you. You'll get that clarity which you need. The organization of financial services, a general framework, okay, for what? Using this technological process to reduce the shortcomings of the current services. Wow, that was the vision and mission of Ripple, the company, to use that technology. Now, they are using this as does a universal bank, an integrated system showing you each and every verticals to solve that cross-border payments events. So when you go through this stuff, you understand currently there is a lot of issues for the cross-border payments, and this is being solved right now. So when an asset like this is being presented in front of you and it is challenging the current payment infrastructure, the status quo will fight back. They will put their souls into this fight, try to stay relevant. Because if that's not happening, they are being kicked out of this market. And they really don't want that. Because when we see these stuff, it's clear that Ripple has the tool and the money to fight this one. Money is really important. Even if they sell XRP to get the money, that doesn't care, because the long-term scenario for XRP is huge. Now, if you look at Ripple and understand what it really does, it is a software company selling software to banks, right? Ripple, the company, was established after XRP, the asset, was created. So, those guys in SEC still have difficulties digesting these information, and that's why US will not stay as the superpower, biggest economy in the world within next 8 years or 10 years. Other economies are coming faster. Why? Because the regulators are sleeping right now. You guys, those who are listening to me from US, the citizen of US, the land of free, you have to jump out of your bed and kick them out. You have to put your word out so that they can listen to you. If they are not listening to you, it's a democratic country. You know what to do, right? You have to take your own steps, because other countries are going to run over you. If you don't, the financial system is going to change. Now, when you look at the changes which are happening all around the world, banks, including everything, has issues. Are they closing down? You look at how much JPM and other big banks paid in just fines for manipulations and all other violations. Just paying fine, they'll continue their business. So if someone is doing wrong stuff and they can continue their business just paying fine, Ripple, the company, has done nothing wrong. Still, SEC can collect money and let them do what they were doing. So in terms of TA, fundamentals, long-term and the current events, you can decide what you want to do. But before that, Always understand utility of that asset is going to change this game at the end. If you dump and run, it's completely up to you. And that's all for today. And if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button and support the channel. If you would like to get technical analysis, technical stuff for different assets which you need at different time frames, which will give you that clarity which you need in terms of price fluctuation, you can look at the Patreon link given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.